Hello and welcome to London Euston Station. Today we are taking a ride in first class with Avanti West Coast from here up to Coventry on one of their Class 390 Pendolinos. Although the sun has since set on this chilly November evening, the station is still bustling with people, the departure hall filled with the music from the pianist in the corner. Our train this evening is the 1739 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central, and a glance at the departure board reveals that we'll be departing from Platform 1 in around 30 minutes' time. Riding in first class on Avanti West Coast comes with the perk of exclusive access to Avanti's first-class lounges across the network. Passengers are allowed to use these lounges up to 2 hours before departure and 1 hour after arrival at their destination. Making our way past the sliding glass doors, we're greeted by a full-service bar equipped with a variety of snack and non-alcoholic drink options, all of which are complimentary, plus alcoholic options for purchase. There are tons of seating options around the lounge, including individual pods, couches, and tables, some of which include a view out over the departure hall. For passengers looking for a quieter environment, the lounge offers a sectioned-off workspace with desks, outlets, and plenty of space to get work done. Unfortunately, we can't hang around here too long, as boarding is about to begin. Heading back down to the departure hall, we make our way down the long ramps to Track 1, where waiting for us is 390-130, one of Avanti West Coast's gorgeous Class 390 Pendolinos. Despite the boarding call, we can't make our way out to the train just yet, as we must wait for the mass of people to be cleared onto the platform by the Avanti staff at the gate line. The staff do their best to get everyone through as quickly as possible, and we're soon allowed onto the platform. We're seated today in Coach K, the rearmost coach on our train. A press of the button opens the door and we can climb aboard. Our home for the next hour will be seat 12, an airline-style individual window seat. First class seating on Avanti West Coast Pendolinos is plenty spacious. There's around 8 inches between my torso and the edge of the table, plus 3 inches between the top of my legs and the bottom of the table. Legroom is not an issue, with more than enough space to stretch out and get comfortable, taking advantage of the space beneath the seat in front. First class seats include a small footrest that flips down from the seat back. The table mentioned earlier is decently large with enough space to dine at. It can't be folded out of the way, which means it does intrude on the rest of the seat a little bit. Outlets are included at each seat, with ours located next to the wall in the table housing. First class seats can be reclined using the lever to the side. The past entertainment system remains just behind the lever, a relic of past rail travel. When in operation, the audio jack would allow passengers to listen to a variety of channels while en route to their destination, but the system has long since been disconnected. Window shades can be extended down from the ceiling to cover the windows, although it won't be of much use on our journey today. For passengers traveling in larger groups, Avanti West Coast offers table seating in groups of 2 and 4. Comfort-wise, the seat upholstery is okay. The seat cushions are relatively thick, but it's clear that they're nearing the end of their life cycle, giving way more than they really should. The headrests are still in decent shape, with large wings for passengers to rest their heads on. Avanti West Coast has recognized that the interiors need a refresh, and have already begun the process of refurbishing their Class 390 Pendolinos. The new interiors will feature new seats in both standard and first class, improved lighting, better incorporation of technology, more outlets, refurbished toilets, and more. For the 11-car train sets, the refurbishment includes the conversion of one of the first class coaches to a standard class coach to increase capacity. This change could come at the cost of a more expensive ticket price for first class, but we'll have to wait and see. 13 newly refreshed trains are already out on the network, with more on the way in the coming months. What had started out as a routine ride soon turned a bit sour as our conductor came over the PA system to inform us that we would be delayed around 20 minutes, while earlier delays on the line were cleared up. Fortunately though, this would be the only delay on our hour ride up to Coventry. As we wait for departure, let's take a quick look at our route this evening. Our journey today begins heading northwest out of London past Wembley and out into the English countryside. We'll pick up speed through Watford, skirting around Luton before making our first stop in Milton Keynes. We continue up the West Coast main line passing Northampton and our second station stop in Rugby before arriving at our destination of Coventry. We'll cover around 94 miles between London and Coventry today with a travel time of 1 hour and 3 minutes. After a little over a 20-minute wait on track 1, our train pulls out of London Euston, beginning our ride up the West Coast main line. Soon after departure, our attendant comes through the car to distribute menus, glasses, and silverware for dining today. Avanti West Coast offers a variety of options for first-class passengers, with breakfast options for morning trains, lunch and dinner options for those later in the day, and a couple sweet selections for an after-dining treat. Drink options include a selection of hot and cold drinks, plus a few alcoholic selections as well. Avanti West Coast supplies their dining experience through businesses local to their routes, and includes a map of their route and where each supplier is located. Need some at-seat entertainment or just want to get the latest updates on your train? Then the Onboard Hub has you covered. Scanning one of the multiple QR codes around the coach brings you to the onboard portal, where passengers can take a look at the onboard menu, a variety of at-seat entertainment options, track their train, or order a taxi for their onward travel. After supplying everyone with silverware, the crew comes back through for the drink service and to take our meal order. From the selection of drinks, I chose a can of Pepsi Max and ordered the vegetable noodle bowl for my meal. If you're enjoying the video so far, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you're so inclined, then feel free to check out the channel's Patreon. Patrons get their name in the video, access to exclusive weekly posts, and even the opportunity to vote on future videos. If those perks pique your interest, then click the link in the top right or the description below to learn more. Heading north out of London, our train picks up speed, tilting left and right through the curves of the main line, although it's quite hard to tell through the dark of night. Milton Keynes is our first stop this evening. Our end of the train is fairly quiet, with only a freight train passing by a few tracks over. But closer to the station building, the station is very much alive, with passengers making their way on and off the train. A few minutes later, we're on our way again. Avanti West Coast operates 6 lines in total, all 6 of which terminate at London Euston. From there, trains make their way across the west of England and up into Scotland. Our train today is on Route A, breaking off west to pass through Coventry and Birmingham, meeting back up with the main line through Stafford and continuing on north to Glasgow Central. The map also indicates the potential rolling stock used on each line, with some using exclusively Pendolinos or Voyagers, or a combination of the two. While we're up, we can head into the next car to find the bathroom on board. The bathroom in Coach J is the only accessible facility in first class. Stepping inside, we can use the buttons on the far wall to close and lock the door. The bathroom is spacious as expected and is very clean. The hands-free sink worked well with plenty of soap and a hands-free dryer that I couldn't for the life of me get to work. The mirror above the sink included a built-in light and a fun bit of cursive saying "Hey there, good lookin'," with a second larger mirror built into the far wall. There was also plenty of toilet paper, and the handrails for accessibility were plentiful and clean. The wall opposite the toilet and sink featured a mural of a field somewhere in the UK, although I have no idea where. Overall, the bathroom was great, especially because of how clean and welcoming it was. Props to Avanti West Coast for keeping it well maintained. Returning to our seat, dinner had been served. Laid out before us was our noodle bowl, which looked great. Yes, the sauce on top didn't look as appetizing as it could have, but it's not too different from what you would get in a Thai or Chinese restaurant, so I wasn't complaining. Taking my first few bites revealed that the dish was delicious. The sauce was super flavorful and the veggies were well cooked and seasoned. The noodles were maybe a bit too soft for my liking, but the rest of the dish certainly made up for that slight misstep. Would I have appreciated a slightly larger portion or some sides? Absolutely, as this technically was my dinner for the evening, but for a complimentary meal, it was a great addition. As we cruise up the West Coast main line, let's take a look at some stats about our train. Taking us up to Coventry this evening is the 1739 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central. The service is operated by one of Avanti's Alstom Class 390 Pendolinos, number 390130, named after the city of Edinburgh. Each Class 390 EMU is powered by Alstom's EJA 2852 traction motors, producing 570 horsepower each. As the longer 11-car variant, our Class 390 has 7 power cars, and with 2 motors per car, 11-car trains produce a total output of 7,980 horsepower. Class 390s are rated for a top speed of 140 miles per hour, but track speeds limit trains to a top speed of 125. The key technology featured by the Alstom Pendolino family of trains is an active tilting mechanism. Each carriage can tilt up to 8 degrees to either side, allowing for trains to travel at higher speeds around sharper corners. Combined with the banked tracks of the West Coast main line, Pendolinos can take corners 20% faster than they could without it, a huge step up from conventional trains. Our train begins to slow as we branch off towards Birmingham and our final destination of Coventry. While waiting in the vestibule to disembark, I noticed an interesting aspect of the safety information card. The coach featured for emergency exits still bears the original Virgin Trains livery from back when Virgin still held the West Coast contract. The red roof and unmistakable striped doors were the hallmarks of Virgin's fleet in the late 2000s and 2010s, and it's cool to see there's still some memory of them remaining today. After just over an hour of travel, our train pulls into Coventry, the end of the line for today's ride. The 390 is a beautiful train and is definitely one of the best operating in the UK today. I wish our time on board wasn't so short, but this is the nature of our journey today. Finishing up its exchange of passengers, 390-130 closes its doors and continues on its way towards Glasgow. As our Pendolino leaves Coventry behind, it's time to bring today's video to an end. Next week, we'll be back in New York City to ride the full length of Amtrak's Keystone corridor out to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. There's a lot more incredible content on the way, so stick around if you want to see more. I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the Patreon link in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.